This video will cover a 4-seat installation on the Polaris Pro R with an M1 radio and 696 Plus intercom. The same installation will also work with the STX intercom or G1 mobile radio. Step 1. Vehicle preparation. We start by removing the dash trim pieces, dash panel, and some access panels to give us access to the dash. We'll be using a T40 and T25 Torx driver to remove the screws and then the glove box. Next, remove the front hood scoop. Unscrew the T40 screws shown here so we can remove the center dash panel. Now, pull the boot up on the A-pillar of the roll cage so you can disconnect the stereo speaker. This will also allow us to feed the coax cable through the roll cage tubing later in our installation. Remove the cup holder, which will give us access to run headset cabling under the center console. If you're installing headsets to the back seats in a 4-seater, you'll need to remove these T40 screws as shown along with the center panel secured by push pins. Then this cover so you can access the underside of the dash. On the Pro R, Turbo R and a few other models, the radio panel will mount where shown, so we'll need to relocate any switches from the bottom row to the top row. This will allow us to cut away the lower portion of that switch panel. You'll also want to remove the cover and panel around the shifter to provide access to feed cables through the center console. Behind the steering wheel, remove the T40 screws so you can remove the center panel. You can push the lever down to move the steering wheel down and provide more clearance and working room to remove the panel. With the center dash ready to remove, be sure to disconnect the programming cable as shown here that's being secured by a grommet underneath the panel. Now, we can remove the dash entirely. With the dash removed, we can now remove the glove box and have access to our power and cable connections. Step 2. Intercom and radio mount. Start by inserting the bolts into the mount. Then, we'll slide the intercom through the mount and capture the bolts in the channels that run along the length of the intercom. Place the wave washer between the mount bracket and the nut. When installing the radio, simply slide it in from the front or the back. Use the screws that came with the radio to secure the radio in the mount. Align the radio cleanly as shown here with the radio face sticking out slightly. Install the radio jumper to the back of the radio. Simply thread the connection and secure tightly by hand. No tools required. With the jumper attached, connect it to the radio cable coming off the intercom. The remaining ports we'll connect to later include the programming port on the back of the radio, co-driver push-to-talk and headset, driver push-to-talk and headset, and additional crew ports for rear passengers in a 4-seat application. There's even an optional 5th-person connection if needed. And there's also an auxiliary port for audio in or out for recording options. Lastly, on the back of the radio is your antenna coax cable port. Step 3. Mount the accessory hub. The accessory hub allows convenient access to the radio for programming and firmware updates as well as connecting an optional external speaker. By installing the accessory hub in an accessible location, it prevents having to remove the mount and radio to make use of these features. For this installation, we mounted the accessory hub to the side of the center console. Alternatively, you could mount this in the glove box. Ultimately, where you mount it is up to you, but make sure it's connected to your radio and accessible. Step 4. Install the active filter. Mount the active filter in the location here. The active filter cleans your power as it's fed to your radio and intercom for clearer communications. The power lead from the active filter will connect to the Polaris pulse bar in the next step, while remaining power leads will connect to your radio and intercom. Step 5. Power connections. Power management can be done a couple different ways. Either option is highly encouraged to reduce a parasitic drain on the battery when the vehicle is stored for any length of time. Option 1 is using a rocker power switch, which will kill power to the radio and intercom via a rocker switch, even when the vehicle is parked for long durations. Option 2 is using the optional pulse adapter cable which we used here. This will adapt your power connection from the active filter to the Polaris bus bar. Newer model Polaris vehicles have this convenient pulse bar for connecting power to your accessories. Remove one of the caps to make a port available for the pulse bar adapter. Looking at the wire placement in the plug, the pulse bar adapter is pinned to provide keyed power. The top position with the black wire is ground and the middle position with the red wire provides keyed power. If you prefer constant power, relocate the red positive cable from the middle position in the plug to the lower position. Now, insert the adapter cable into the pulse bar. Step 6. Install the coax cable. We're going to take advantage of the hole in the A-pillar to run the coax cable inside the tubing. We'll travel up and through the tubing all the way to the back and pull it through the tube at the rear of the vehicle. If you have an aftermarket roll cage without a hole in the bottom, simply run the cable alongside the A-pillar, which can then be secured in place with R-wraps. Next, we need a 3/8-inch hole drilled into the roof to install the bulkhead for the antenna. The bulkhead is this piece here and will be inserted from under the roof, while the NMO nut with the plastic washer and O-ring will thread onto the bulkhead from above the roof. When tightening the washer onto the bulkhead, hold the wrench vertically as shown. Since we don't want to over-tighten, this ensures we get it tight without excess tightening or causing damage to the bulkhead. When complete, secure the coax cable along the roll cage using soft tie R-wraps. Continue securing the coax cable along the roll cage under the dash with R-wrap soft ties. Don't use zip ties as they could damage the coax cable. Step 7. Mount preparation. As you can see here, the mount will be installed in the area of the second row of switches. So, relocate any switches in the bottom row to the top row. When that's complete, we need to open up the back of the little tunnel below the switch panel. You can use a hot knife, razor knife, or sawzall. But, it's important to proceed slow and cautiously so you don't damage any wires close to the plastic tunnel. Depending upon how deep you've recessed your radio and intercom into the mount, you may need to create a little more clearance for a proper fit. In which case, you may need to trim this gray plastic. Step 8. Push-to-talk installation. When installing the driver side push-to-talk button, it's good practice to add a strain relief loop as shown to relieve tension on the cable. More detailed instructions are included with your push-to-talk button. At about the 3/4 length of the coil cord, make one loop around the steering wheel adjuster as shown to provide slack and alleviate tension on the cable when turning the steering wheel. Attach the passenger side push-to-talk to the grab bar in a comfortable desired location, remembering to keep a strain relief loop as shown. Drill a 1/2-inch hole next to the grab bar as shown here to pass the push-to-talk cable through. Use soft tie R-wraps to clean up the installation and secure the cable. Add enough cable length behind the dash so that when you adjust the grab bar, the cable moves freely without tension or binding. If you're using the optional PTT module to take advantage of the built-in Polaris shortcut button as a PTT on the steering wheel, mount the module as shown to the tubing. The white wire will connect directly to the push-to-talk port on the intercom. Then, disconnect the OBD plug and now plug the PTT module into the OBD port. Now you can use the Polaris shortcut button as your push-to-talk button. Step 9. Route headset cables. In this installation, we drilled 2 holes on the inside where shown. We also put a wire into each hole so we can pull our cables through. If you're configuring a 4-seat system, you'll pull the driver and passenger headset cables through the left side and the 2 rear seat cables through the right side. Now, if instead you're doing a simple 2-seat configuration, pull the driver side headset cable through the left side and the passenger headset cable through the right side. Now let's work the cables for the rear seat passengers through the center console to the back of this 4-seat vehicle. Start from the front working the cables along the center and under the plastic tray towards the back. Branch off to run each cable off to the side, up the side and to the shoulder harness. Step 10. Check connections. Verify all connections are complete. Coax, rear seat connections, accessory hub, jumper cable to the intercom, driver and passenger push-to-talk and headset. The red and black wires will be routed to power. Step 11. Test communications. Your installation is complete. It's always best to test radio and intercom performance in an outdoor open area. As always, Rugged Radio stands by to help with any questions you have. Check out product manuals and instructions online or give us a call for assistance. Get ready to go further. Be sure to check out our other videos for more fun and informational content. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified when new content is posted. And lastly, from all of us at Rugged Radios, thanks for watching.